Hey LCA community, my name is Miss Kennedy for those that maybe have not got to meet me yet. And we had began Advisement week before everything kind of got crazy. And so I have been praying about how to still carry out advisement and it still be individualized and me learn about you and your future and get you guys thinking and also maybe get the parents involved. And so what I'm doing is this video, and I'm doing this is just for ninth grade. Where we look at how advisement would have went had we been face-to-face and give you the facts and kind of walk you through what I need you to do and get back to me. I want to start by saying that as I've been reflecting on the craziness, that God really impressed on my heart in Ecclesiastes 3:1, for everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. So this is just a season. I know it seems overwhelming right now, but this is a season and it will end and things will hopefully get back to normal. But during this time, I'm just trying to find purpose and the what seems to be chaos. Maybe it's stillness, not being able to get out and do the things that we're used to doing and having to just kind of take a moment and take a step back. So I just want to encourage you, don't be overwhelmed. We are still thinking about your future. We are still thinking about next year. We are super excited about all the things that LCA has to offer. And so we want to stay super positive. But if you do need somebody to talk to, Miss Anderson's here. I'm here. Just let us know, students. I know this can be overwhelming, but we are definitely advocating for you and cheering you on. Now, let's talk about advisement. So when I met with students one-on-one before I could not anymore, we went over a form and I had the teacher recommendations with this form. We started though by looking at your current grades. That's a great place to start. Let's look at this year before we can kind of look into the future. Let's look at where we're at right now. For some of you, this was probably a fantastic year. You know, straight A's, you really got the concepts, you enjoyed transitioning to high school. For some of you, it was a year of where you really could figure out, okay, I'm really strong in this subject, but I really struggle in that subject. So how does that equate to my life choices? You know, where I want to go next and what career path. And then some of you, maybe this has been a really difficult transition to high school and it's really been hard and you feel like you're constantly having to tread water to stay where you need to be. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take those grades and look at them, but also consider that this was a transitional year, ninth grade. It was not just academics that changed. It was your lifestyle that changed. High school's different. So that's a piece of the data that we look at, but it's an important piece because for some of you, it's, you know, what did I do? What was my part in making those grades? Did I turn my assignments in on time? You know, did I advocate for myself when you don't understand something? Now you are getting to the point developmentally, you have to advocate for yourself. You know, ask the teacher, talk to the teacher. I didn't understand. Teachers really are here to support you. And teachers, more often than not, if you are asking for help and seeking to understand, they're going to be extremely compassionate with you on trying to get you where you want to be academically speaking. So those are the questions I want you to start pondering on. Why do I want you to ponder on those? It's because those are skills that you're going to need going into 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. So look at what you did this year so far. Don't get discouraged if it's not the year that you had thought it would be. You know that this is just the beginning. You're just now building your transcript. You can completely change your course over this 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. If it was the year this year that you want it to be, or maybe even better, continue to stay strong on that path and be dedicated to your work. Something else. So we look at current grades. The next thing we look at is I ask you, and I'm going to put a spot on the form that you're going to fill out. Where do you want to go? What does it look like? And you may say, well, I don't know. I'm in ninth grade. It's kind of like, I'm not sure. That's totally fine. You've got some time. What I want to do is just start beginning to provoke those thoughts in your mind, because depending on which college you want to go to or what technical school you want to go to, or maybe the trade that you want to go into, you're going to need certain skills, and academically it may require different things. So if you want to go to a competitive college, you know you're going to be looking at rigor. You know, as you're going into 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, you're going to be looking at AP. You're going to be looking at the most rigorous course offered, like possibly dual enrollment, you know, things like that. So your course is going to look different if that's where you want to go. If you're a student that wants to go to technical school, what technical school? What's the requirements for that technical school to get in? For trade, what academic grades and courses can you take to set yourself up for success in that trade? No matter what the trade is, you're going to need key skills just to be able to function in life. So academics are still super important. Not only that, career, we're hopefully going to add in a lot more career tests for you guys coming up next year, where you can really, what my personality is, what the gifts God has given me, the desire I want to do, what does that look like in career? And then once I know what that career is, what school do I go to be able to fulfill that? So those are all things that I want you to consider. And if you hear background noise right now, it is my 2 Yorkies that are also already stir crazy for some reason, and they're making a lot of noise even though they're put up. So I apologize for the background noise. So we've looked at your current grades. We've looked at colleges, technical school, trade school, your future. Like, what are you wanting to get out of your high school experience? Now let's talk briefly about PSAT. So 10th grade year is a big year because you'll be taking your PSAT. No worries. I'll be coming in the classroom. I'll be giving you your study guides. I will be here with you every step of the way. You'll study for your PSAT. You'll take your PSAT. You'll get those results back in 10th grade. And then Mr. Pay and I will actually sit down and go over those results with you. And we'll encourage you in ways where we'll show you how to look at what you got, how to look at the questions maybe that you didn't get right, and how you translate that into studying. So 10th grade year, keep in mind that you will have the PSAT, and that will really help you start seeing too where you're at and where you need to go to get to that your goal of whatever that may be. So that's just another factor in the advisement process. So now, just take a moment, deep breath. You've looked at your current grades. You've thought about where I want to go next. You've factored in next year is your PSAT, and that's going to also give you a lot of insight. Another thing that I've been recommending during advisement is, and I'll include this on the email, is Michelle made a really awesome form, and I'm going to show you quickly. This is what the form looks like. And it is actually a way to keep up with your classes and your extracurricular activities and your awards. Why this is important is when you begin to apply for colleges or make your college resume, there again, deep breaths. We're not there yet, and I'll be with you every step of the way, giving you examples. When you get to that point, you're going to think, well, what did I do in 9th grade? What did I do in 10th grade? Because life is busy and sometimes we forget. So it's a really good idea to begin keeping up with what are those extracurricular activities that I've done. Did I get an award? Did I get an academic award? Did I get more of a sports related award? We can keep up with that information here. Or if it's, I know we're in a digital age. Thankfully, we're in a digital age because we're able to do distance learning and still maintain what you guys need. So if you want to do it on an Excel sheet, computer, notes on your phone, I don't care how you do it, but just make sure you keep a track of what you're accomplishing. Also, there's going to be, on the same link, there's going to be a checklist. Let me flip to it. I just seen it. This is kind of hard to see over the phone, but it'll all be on the email. This checklist is just kind of a guideline to what each year, just recommendations of maybe what you should be doing, what you should be looking at. In 10th grade, you know, we just want to be aware of your academic progress. We want you to keep going next year. You know, really challenge yourself to do the best that you can do in the PSAT and colleges and universities, and then just a reevaluate in your plan of study form. And that's going to be just after 10th grade, you finish that year, we're looking back and making sure you're right on track to graduate and you're in the courses that you want to be in to set you up for where you want to go. So you'll get this checklist so you can kind of think ahead. During this time, if there's downtime, I know you're busy doing schoolwork, but you can start thinking about your future. Look at colleges, get online, see what the requirements are, see what the campuses look like. It is not too early to start thinking about that next step. Go ahead and look up scholarships. I encourage you, if there's any downtime or you're just bored because you can't get out, really start investing in your future and take time just to reflect on those things. So when I send you the form, it's going to have the courses that we offer. Let's talk about that for a moment. There's going to be some honors, possibly for some of you guys. The teacher recommendations really play a huge part in advisement. These teachers have walked with you all year. these teachers know what it looks like for that next level. And so they're giving me wisdom out of that. And they're an expert in that subject area. So I'm going to put what your teachers recommended, and when I've reviewed your academics, kind of what it looks like that you could handle. If it's an honors level course, it will be on there. We do also have an AP. That is really heavily a teacher recommendation, because AP, we're looking at, okay, that's a college level course. What I tell students is you may be a straight A student and excelling in all your classes and have a hard time in an AP course. AP is just not someone that's academically sound. It's someone that is willing to work hard. And so sometimes you see those students that are kind of on the line that end up doing really well because those students already have had to work so hard to maintain. So I encourage you for the AP course, if that's on your form, to really talk about that with your parents. That's going to require homework. That's going to require possibly an hour, hour and a half homework, depending on where you're at in the study. The good thing is, if you take the AP course, you pass your AP exam, you get that college credit. Okay, what does that look like? Well, you know, you want to get a 3 on the test, but to be honest with you, depending on what college you want to go to, some of them want to see a 4 or a 5. So you want to make sure you go into this, if you want that elective, if you want that, not elective, if you want that credit, that you take it very seriously. You are preparing all year long for that exam to be able to get that. There again, on College Board, there is a breakdown of how certain colleges or universities accept that AP credit. That's another thing to factor in. So there again, deep breath. I know this a lot. If you know where you want to go or have a general idea of where you want to go, you want to make sure you look at how they look at transferring those AP credits in. It could be where they give you an elective hour for it instead of replacing your history altogether. So that's totally up to the college or university or technical school that you want to go to. LCA has no control over how they receive that credit. All we do is prepare you, offer the course, and send your transcript. So just kind of know where you want to go is super important. So you'll see some of you will have the honors option, some of you will have the AP option. And the reasoning behind that is we really want to place you in a classroom that you're going to be successful. You know, sometimes we want to push ourselves past our ability, and I want to be careful with that with our students, because we are building a transcript that will be sent. And I know a lot of families rely on Hope, and to get Hope, you have to have certain GPA. And so we have to look at the right courses for the student. It is not just put the students here because we have this. What is best for the student? What is best for the student's future plan? We want to make sure that we are extremely wise. And I feel a very heavy responsibility that I advise you through a biblical perspective that all things are possible, but God has given us different gifts, and I want to really speak into the gifts that He's given you. So AP honors, that's how it will look. 10th grade, you're going to be doing Bible 2. You're going to be doing Spanish 2, because you got to have those 2 years in the same foreign language. So everybody that did Spanish 1, it would make sense to go right into Spanish 2. And then basically your elective choices, what I'm asking students is to choose 2, even if it ends up where you just have that 1 elective hour. Go ahead and give 2 choices for me, so I can have an idea if, one class is full or doesn't make, or it's something with the scheduling. I'm just throwing out all kind of scenarios. I kind of have idea of 2 places you would like to be. Another elective to consider, but I would kind of say maybe this is a second semester elective we would look at. We are going to have the SAT prep, but for many of you, you'll be taking your PSAT in the fall. So that prep is going to be, it's going to be helpful, but not as much maybe as going into that second semester. So if that's one of your choices, I will kind of know mentally, okay, this student's going to be taking PSAT first semester. Depending on how they do on PSAT, that second semester SAT prep may be very beneficial for them, because some of you may enroll to take your SAT going into your junior year that fall. And so a semester of SAT prep is going to be very beneficial, because it will begin to give you tools and resources. And Mr. Pay is fantastic on how to study, so you can continue studying over the summer. So when you see SAT prep, just kind of factor that in, that could be a very important class. It may be something more second semester, but we'll just kind of look at that together. That's one of the joys of working in a private setting, is that we can really just take time to take a step back and see what works best for our student body. As I'm ending, I think we've kind of covered everything. This is exactly what you would have gotten with me one-on-one. When you do your form, if you have questions, what I'm going to do is appointments. If you will email me and let me know, okay, I've completed my form, but I still have some questions I'd like to ask you. Or mom and dad, I knew several people wanted to set up appointments with me. So you kind of got what your student would have got sitting with me. So if you still have questions, please email me, let me know, and I'm going to make appointments. Even those that have already reached out, once you watch this video, if you still want to sit down with me and talk via phone, just send me an email. I also want to encourage you students as we end to please, as difficult as it is, really concentrate on your academics. This is still all going to count towards your 9th grade year and your grades, and I want you to have a healthy first year transcript. So really focus in on what the teachers are asking you. If for some reason you don't understand something, reach out to your teachers. We're here to help you and support you. We don't want a student not to reach out and then maybe not obtain the grade that they really could have just because they try to do it independently and not reach out to a teacher so that they could help you. So I just encourage you, stay strong, stay social. We have wonderful devices now where you can FaceTime and talk to people. And no social media. We have to be careful with that. But right now, it is good to stay connected. And above all, that we're just going to have faith and agree that God's going to pull us through this and that there's purpose in this. And we're going to just rely on Him to kind of guide us in the whys of the world that happen at time, and that He's faithful. So I'm here if you need me. I'll be sending out this link. I'll be sending out your form to fill out for advisement, and then I'll be setting up appointments. Please be patient with me. I don't know how many appointments will be requested, but I do want to make sure everyone has an opportunity that wants an opportunity to speak with me, as well as respecting your academic classes going on right now. God bless. I cannot wait to see everybody face to face. And I'm here if you need me. Thanks so much.